G'day mates, in today's video I'm going to break down today's update. We now have the sniper rifle and the goo guns being vaulted. We also have a new creative mode where you can make your own version of Fortnite. The Battle Royale map is now in creative, and if you thought you can make Fortnite better, now you can. You can make your own functioning version of Fortnite in creative, not just like creative game modes, the full Battle Royale experience. Also, I want to talk about some map changes. This is the last major map update before Invitational. Mr. Savage and iDrop just got absolutely blessed. Meanwhile, Vino and Queasy are gonna have to basically drop on top of the spawn fight that's already happening between Clix's team and Pink's team, which is gonna be very, very spicy. Before we get into talking about all the map changes and the new Star Wars week, let's talk about the two major changes to competitive. First off, the Hunter Bolt Action Sniper has been removed from tournament playlists, and the explosive goo gun has also been removed from zero build tournament playlists. So let me clarify here, tournament playlist and competitive playlist aren't the same. Competitive playlist is arena, tournament playlist is tournament. So you can still get the Hunter Bolt Action Sniper Rifle in arena, which is gonna make scrims a little bit annoying. I've been asking for this for a while. I'm totally down for them changing the loot pools between arena and tournament, because let's be honest, arena really isn't much like a tournament, but we need to have some kind of like scrim game mode. Just have it be a game mode that sits there that you can't queue into unless you're doing customs, to allow people to play with the tournament settings. Because now if you're running scrims, you're gonna have to ban the bolt action snipers so people don't use them because they're not in tournaments. But either way, what do I think about these changes? What do the pros think about these changes? First off, I've actually always been a pretty big advocate for one-shot headshot snipes. I actually do think they're good for the game, but let me preface this. But I do think they're a little bit broken right now. You can't make a sniper not one-shot headshot. Otherwise, it's just useless. It'll be like the old Hunter Bolt Action where literally no one picked it up. If you can't one-shot headshot someone, it is not worth running a sniper rifle. But having like 100 bullets, 3 of them in the chamber that all can one-shot headshot is also a bit broken. I've been suggesting for a long time, I would have loved to see them make it like a harpoon. Maybe it only has like 5 or 10 bullets in the sniper. Once you use them, they are gone. You don't get extra ammo on kills. It is a finite amount, because then you would have to really think about what you're going to shoot at, because most of the times when you get headshot sniped that is frustrating is when you're running in the open, you're jumping, you're ducking, you're weaving, and someone just hits a lucky shot. That is frustrating, I get it. But if you only had, let's say, 5 shots, you wouldn't shoot at someone running, jumping, ducking, and weaving from 200 meters away, because it would be a waste. You'd save it for those players who are over peaking and holding bad angles, which I think people should be punished for. So as much as I'm sad to see the Hunter Bolt Action vaulted, because I do like one-shot headshot snipes, I think Epic could have balanced it, but at the same time, it seems the pros are pretty happy. There's quite a few pros on my timeline right now getting very excited about this. Yanis is excited about this. Trulex is happy about this as well. Thomas HD, probably not too happy, since Thomas HD is pretty much the best sniper in the world. My man hits everything, so it's a bit of a nerf to him, but across the board, it seems like most pro players are going to be happy, so at the end of the day, I'll accept it. Now, the goo gun. Yes, 100,000% yes, get this thing out of zero build tournaments. I've started to watch more zero build tournaments. I'm enjoying them. The goo gun is a joke. I hate this item in competitive. I think most people do as well. In builds, it's even more annoying, but that's only in pubs. But a lot of zero build tournaments, in my opinion, have been made worse by the goo gun. I watched Peach Cobbler's tournament yesterday. It was a tournament with like Tfue playing. You had replays, you had a lot of big teams playing, and the goo gun was not allowed, and it was so much more fun to watch. It just makes more sense. With all the utility now, like with the porta bunkers and the shield bubbles and all the mobility, no builds competitive is really enjoyable to watch in my opinion. But items like the goo gun and even the RPG can just make it a little bit annoying, because it just feels like they shouldn't be there. There's just no way to counter them. If you're in the open and you get hit by it, you're gonna die. There's just no way you can stop it. The only thing is the shield bubble, and you don't have a million of those. So I'm very, very happy with that change. But yeah, overall looks like a pretty good update. The sniper's being taken out right before Invitational is definitely gonna make a lot of pros happy as well. I don't normally talk too much about bug fixes, but this is a big one. Players are now able to collect reboot cards without being blocked by invisible collision. This is massive. If you guys don't know why, for maybe the last 2 or 3 weeks, basically since they changed it so that reboot cards don't sink in water, you probably found that when you kill someone, you get stuck on this like invisible barrier and builds break, and it's just all ridiculous and very irritating. That was this bug. It is finally fixed. That is going to be a big one. The amount of pros I've seen die in endgames because of this one bug is ridiculous. Coming into Invitational, if this bug was still in the game, I was going to be pretty upset. So big props to Epic. We finally fixed this one. let's talk about the map changes. This is the last major map change update before Invitational. So this is huge for certain teams. First off, Mr. Savage has clearly inherited the Benji RNG, or he knew something we didn't, because a lot of people are questioning why him and iDrop were dropping Logjam, one of the worst, if not the worst POIs on the map. It is no longer. They just got the no sweat insurance vault. So they've now got a 2-key vault over at the Logjam. This is going to buff it massively. Is this going to lead to them being contested? I'm not sure, but Savage and iDrop putting all the time this season into a drop that a lot of people were confused why they were going has just completely paid off. Now, the next big one, the pirate ship has moved from over near Greasy to be over near Jones's. This makes this area of the map really, really contested. As far as what this means for Invitational, Queasy and Vino did say they were going to be following the pirate ship around the map. Looks like they're going to continue to do that. This is now going to put them right next to one of the already hottest spawn fights between Clix and Pink's team at Jones's, and they're now going to be right next to the triple con at Kondo. If you guys don't know, we have Aqua, Tayson, and Malibuka's teams all contesting each other at Kondo. So that little corner of the map now has some of the best teams in the world, and it's going to be spicy. If all these teams stay the way they're going to, this is going to be ridiculous. I think things are looking even worse now for Clix and Pink's team, if I'm being honest, because that fight at Jones's was already going to be rough. Neither of those teams was going to split the loot and run with it. They were going to fight, and if they fight now and that fight takes any more than 30 seconds, you better believe Queasy and Vino are hooking it straight off that pirate ship onto their forehead. Like, this is going to be a very, very interesting area to watch on the map. You got to remember there was also 3 other teams dropping in this area near islands and on that corner split of the map. So if everything stays the same, there is about to be about 12 teams in just this corner of the map. It's going to be very, very interesting. Now, outside of that one, we still did have some other major map changes as well. The blimp is still at Tilted. That did not change whatsoever. I think a lot of people thought the blimp was going to leave. So the 4 or 5 teams we have going Tilted as of right now for Invitational are probably still going to be going there, I guess. And last but not least, the mansion north of Shifty is now over near Sleepy. So don't really know too much about that one moving across. It's not going to make Sleepy that much better. I guess it makes Shifty worse for the 2 teams that are already going there. We did have Muzz going up against Larson at Shifty. Whether that fight still happens, I'll probably make a video updating this in a few days. Obviously, the update just dropped. Most of the pros are still sleeping, so we don't know exactly who's switching up their drop spots as of right now. I couldn't really find this too much in the patch notes. I actually saw it from the leakers. We have had a massive change to creative. So right now, when you go into creative and you go to make an island, there is now the Battle Royale island. This island is a beta release. Build your own experience on the ever-changing Battle Royale map. Control loot, spawning, and deployment options, storm options, and use creative devices to customize your own Battle Royale rules. This is big. This is huge. This is exactly what I've been talking about with Creative 2.0. You can now make your own version of Fortnite. You could even have this for previous maps. Imagine they brought back the Chapter 1 map and you could update that. We could finally have a functioning in Fortnite version of Chapter 1, Chapter 2. Pick any season you want. You could make things different. You could make the storm do less damage, more damage. You could make it faster. You could make it like what I've been talking about that I think would be a fun game mode, like a minimal build mode, where you make it where people only have a very small amount of material, so it's not builds, but it's not no builds. Like, you can make your own Fortnite. All the things that you thought would make the best Fortnite, we're getting closer and closer to where you can do that. This is, in my opinion, the future of Fortnite. This is where Creative 2.0 combined with changes like this could be insane. There is a very real possibility that someone makes a game mode that becomes almost as popular or has millions of people playing it just like Fortnite. Like, I can 100% see a version of the game that someone has made themselves individually that they're constantly updating become as popular as the regular version of Fortnite. How many times have you thought that you could make Fortnite better, or your friend, or you think that someone like me has really good ideas about the game, put that all together and make your version of Fortnite? This is massive. Obviously as well, this is going to have people supported creator codes. So a lot of people in the past have made a ridiculous amount of money off creative maps with people using their creator codes when they use them. Imagine making your own entire game mode that has millions of people playing it. We already have orgs like Power, like Lachlan's Power, that have entire creative map building teams signed to them. This is where I think they're going to get that big payout and reward for that. A lot of leaks and a lot of hype about this update as far as the public game was about the planes, but it looks like we're not getting the planes. Instead, we're getting Skywalker Week. We now have Luke, Leia, and Han dropping in for Skywalker Week. There's a whole bunch of cosmetics. We have the E11 blasters are back. We have the lightsabers are back. They also brought back the Junk Rift. Now, this is only in the public playlist. This is not going to be in tournaments or in competitive. I think the spice on this one, they said, is if you throw the Junk Rift, it drops Luke Skywalker's X-34 land speeder. So it's going to be a cool update for pubs, I guess, and a lot of people are going to enjoy this. The pulse rifle's back, but I was more excited for planes, if I'm being honest. I mean, I've never really liked the Star Wars weapons. Just the lightsabers kind of annoy me. The E11 blaster is always just terrible, but it should be a bit goofy for pubs. That means in pubs, you now have Goo Gun, RPG, Junk Rift, like you have the shockwaves, you have the crash pads, like you have so much ridiculous stuff in pubs right now. And again, I'm not against that. Throw it on the list there. But if you're annoyed by dying to the goofy items like the Goo Gun, I don't think the Junk Rift is going to be too much more fun. I know in no builds, I don't think the Junk Rift will be too much of an issue because people aren't really, I mean, I guess if you're behind a tree or like hiding in your porta bunker and you're in a building, yeah, okay, it's probably going to be pretty irritating as well. But hey, it's a bit of spice. It's a bit of fun. I guess we'll see how it goes. You guys know the deal. If you like the video, make sure you chuck a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.